Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Sports Vault Jersey. Joe Archino back here. And one of the biggest storylines this week obviously has been the talk about LeBron James. And the question that has been posed to all of us, is he a coach killer? Now, this will be the third segment I'm doing, kind of discussing this. The first two times, I think my biggest thing that I've established and I've been adamant about is I don't fault LeBron 1 second for the first 7 years of his career. That was defined by an institution, and the institution is the Cleveland Cavaliers, that have never been able to find any sense of stability, any sense of comprehension of what they're doing, running their organization. Their owner had no idea how to put together a winning organization. They had never had GMs who could put talent around LeBron. I mean, how many players can you name that played with LeBron James in that era? You can't name many. He never had the talent, the adequate talent around him. They never surrounded him with good enough coaching. It's just not something that guys like Jordan had to deal with, not something guys like Kobe had to deal with. It has been something exclusively that's been a problem for LeBron James, and I don't fault him for anything that would have happened his first go-around with Cleveland. After that, I think it's all open for discussion. I really do. Now, today, more report coming out, Pat Riley kind of coming out and saying that LeBron never said anything about firing Eric Spoelstra. Where this all really intensified was there was a guy named Ron Katz, who was the minority owner for the Miami Heat at the time. He did an interview with an Israeli sports talk show where he basically said that one of the reasons LeBron left Miami was because he told Pat Riley he wanted Spo gone, and Pat Riley said, "That's my guy, not going to happen." And it seemed now he is kind of Ron Katz has kind of reneged all the things that he said. He said he never said that LeBron asked Spo to get fired. He said that his words were incorrectly translated from Hebrew to English. Now, I'm not in position to say if he did or didn't. I can't speak Hebrew. But what I can say is I think there's truth to it. Pat Riley's always been a guy where if you kind of crossed him, he's not going to be afraid to throw you under the bus. He's not. That's just the way he is. He is a guy who's always spoken his mind. He's not always out in the headlines speaking when every second, every twist and turn. But when Pat Riley feels the need to speak, you better believe Pat Riley is going to speak. And no one was, I think, more upset by the fact that LeBron left after 4 straight finals than Pat Riley. So it means something significant to me, the fact that Pat Riley has now come out and has said that LeBron never made a comment about that. Now, we go to this other question, was LeBron always happy with Eric Spoelstra? I don't think he was. I really don't. I think part of that is understandable because in the fourth final that they reached against the San Antonio Spurs, where they just got crushed, and it was clear the Spurs were the better team they were just dominated the Heat in every conceivable way. But Eric Spoelstra did an awful job at managing LeBron's minutes. Now, part of it I understand to an extent because you really weren't getting contributions from anybody else, but LeBron was not getting any rest. I mean, you want to know part of the reason he had that cramped game? It's because Eric Spoelstra didn't take him off the floor. He's making this guy play almost every single minute of the game, and it's just too much. I really think when you look back at the end, when it's all said and done, if we see a faster decline in LeBron than anyone else physically, it goes back to that finals that they lost because Eric Spoelstra totally mismanaged his minutes. I understand you're trying to win the NBA Finals, but you've got to give the guy a rest. You cannot screw up with his minutes, and Eric Spoelstra just totally did. So if LeBron was frustrated from that, I think that's understandable. I really do. And you also have to always reconsider that he's always going to be a little bit more guarded with his future because of what happened his first go-around in Cleveland. Think about you. If you're in a business and you were held back dramatically by bad bosses for 7 years, you'd hold a little bit of resentment and you'd be a little bit guarded against future bosses too. I think that's case in point what has happened with LeBron James. Now, if you want to fault him for David Blatt, go ahead. I don't think that there's any defense really for that one. The fact that he was not able to get along with Blatt, that's just something that happened. He is responsible for Blatt getting fired because, again, Cleveland, you better believe on your life, they're not going to screw with anything that's going to make LeBron upset. They're going to do everything in their power to make him happy because of the way his contract works. If he's not happy, he's gone. He can leave when he wants to this summer if that's what he decides to do. And it seemed like Blatt just had a problem. Again, this is a guy who doesn't have a lot of experience in the NBA. He's kind of learning it. It's a process for him, and I don't think LeBron had time for that. I think he needed a coach who was ready and knew how the game worked, knew how the style of the NBA works. This is what we have to do. And clearly, losing to the Warriors the way that he did with that thrashing, that probably did not help Blatt's cause with LeBron and probably did not give him the confidence that they needed because, this was the second loss now to the Warriors this season, and that's already a team that LeBron had lost to in the finals, and that was a crusher for him. It took him a really long time. It probably still haunts him like all losses do, but it took him a really long time to get over that because he couldn't have played any better. LeBron set records for doing things single-handedly in that series without Kevin Love, without Kyrie Irving. He was a one-man wrecking crew show. He did everything in his power to try to win that for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and just at the end of the day, it wasn't enough. He did not have enough help around him, and that's kind of been the theme for the most part in LeBron's career. There hasn't been enough help around him. But if you want to label him a coach killer, I think you need to be very careful with that label. I really do. You have to look at how things started off. You can't just look at the last part of the puzzle. It's an entire piece. There's many pieces and layers to this complex story, and you have to start off with the beginning of it. And the beginning of it was a combination of a bad front office, bad coaching, not having talent around him. That's one of the many reasons he left the first time around. And I think to fault him for that is still just inexcusable to this day. He did what was in his best interest to win, and he clearly did winning when he left. Now he has come back as a new man. Cleveland, the organization's gotten their act together a little bit, but, I still think you need to be very careful with that label of calling him a coach killer because even Michael Jordan got Doug Collins fired, who a lot of people consider a very good coach, myself included. And you never know. It's a superstar league. When you hold all the cards, you hold all the power. Kobe's had it. Michael's had it. Magic's had it. LeBron has it. It's the way the NBA works. Again, be very careful with that label. But Jersey Joe Archino here with the Sports Vault. You can follow me on Twitter at Joe Archino, on Instagram, Jersey_Joe_Archino, and I'll be back next time.